Good morning. Open up your books to The Secret War. I believe it's pages 52 and 53. Or, yeah, I think it's page 52, 53. Around there. And then we'll get started with our quick write. It says, describe a time when you spied or eavesdropped on someone. What was the outcome? So tell us why you were spying. Tell us what information you got because you were spying, and then whether or not you were caught. So 3 to 4 sentences. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the vocabulary. We have 3 words today: espionage, guerrillas, and civilian. Espionage is another word for spy. So we have a picture of this man collecting spy evidence. He's taking pictures of papers. The next one is guerrillas. It's not the animal, it's actually a small group of people who they're usually not in the military. They're usually the people fighting the military, and so they're called guerrillas. So if the Confederates hadn't organized a real military, the North would view them as guerrillas. Okay, and then so that matches this first picture. And then civilian is just a regular person who's not in the armed forces, and that's the picture, the third picture. Alright, in order to find the main idea of the text, we're going to ask a how or why question about the title, which is The Secret War. So I'm thinking, how does the author describe the secret war? Why was there a secret war? Write down your question in box 1, press pause if you need to, and then play when you're ready to read. Remember, we're going to underline our evidence in the text to answer our question, how does the author describe the secret war? During the Civil War, groups of civilians called guerrillas often band together to attack enemy troops. Confederate attorney John Mosby organized a group called the Partisan Rangers to operate in Virginia's Blue Ridge Mountain region. At night, they rode behind enemy lines to attack and capture Union troops. Spies were another danger, reporting military plans and movements of the enemy. This secret war is called espionage. Elizabeth Van Lew of Richmond, Virginia, was a mature single woman who held strong pro-Union opinions, but was a member of a wealthy family living in the Confederate capital. Van Lew pretended to suffer from mild mental illness. Southern government leaders often spoke freely in her presence, believing she was harmless. Using couriers, Van Lew sent word that of what she heard to Union military leaders. Go back in the text and underline your evidence for your how or why question. How does the author describe the secret war? After you're finished writing down the main idea, I want you to track this picture and caption called A Detective Spy. At the start of the Civil War, Allan Pinkerton was a successful private detective. Union General George McClellan hired him to organize a body of spies for his army, but Pinkerton was not good at espionage. He often overestimated the size of the Southern forces. So our first question asks us to describe Allan Pinkerton, and we know he was a successful private detective, but he was not successful at espionage. Alright, and then question 2, I have to change this, I had a typo. We want to evaluate how effective was Allan Pinkerton at his job. How do you know? Well, he was not an effective spy because he often overestimated the size of the Southern forces. So every time he was going up against a Southern or a Confederate regiment that was larger than he anticipated. and so he often did not come prepared. Write down your answer in 2B, and then track the gray ghost. Press pause if you need to finish writing down your answer. The gray ghost says, armed with up to 8 revolvers, John Mosby rode out at night in a feather hat and cape to gather his guerrilla band. His men attacked Union troops, supply depots, and camps. In the South, he was a hero, always escaping capture. To Union troops, he was the gray ghost, a danger of the night. 3A asks us to describe James Mosby. So he's a leader of a Confederate guerrilla group, and he's considered a hero in the South because he could not be captured. Press pause to write down your answer for 3A, and then play when you're ready for 3B. It says, how did the Confederates' perspective of Mosby differ from the Union's perspective of Mosby? So the Confederates, our text says, viewed him as a hero because he always escaped capture when he attacked Union troops. However, the Union did not view him as a hero. They viewed him as a danger in the night, or as an enemy. So the Confederates viewed him as a hero because he could not be captured, and the Union troops viewed him as the enemy, or a danger of the night. Press pause to write down your answer, and play when you're ready for the next caption, which is Mosby's Partisan Rangers attack. It's right up here. Mosby was well known to Northerners because Union newspapers carried stories about the Gray Ghost. He and his troops were famous for attacking Union soldiers and then slipping away without a trace. This newspaper drawing shows an assault on Mosby's men on a Union army wagon. Number 4A asks, what role did the Partisan Rangers play in the Civil War? Oops. Well, if we go back in our text, it tells us that the Partisan Rangers, or Mosby's group, attacked Union soldiers and then were able to slip away before being caught. So they were kind of like a hit-and-run guerrilla group. And then it says, why was Mosby known as the Gray Ghost? We know ghosts are hard to see, and gray is the color of the Confederate uniform, so he's probably called the Gray Ghost because he was a Confederate spy that was very hard to catch. Do you finish writing down your answer in box 4? We want to combine all of the notes we've taken today to write a paragraph about how the author describes the Secret War. You have plenty of time to finish your paragraph. Go ahead and get started.